Welcome back to the vlog, guys. I'm so stoked. I did this one a little differently. This is just a little mini vlog of Cambodia because it was a very quick 24-hour trip. So I thought I'd do a voiceover and explain kind of what I was doing. So I landed at the airport, immediately got in some random man's taxi who also doubles as a tour guide. And I had him take me to Kampong Kliong, which is a floating village, one of 3 outside of Siem Reap in Cambodia. And this was high on my list. I've been listening to an audiobook about Cambodia and about the genocide that happened there in the 1970s. Would absolutely recommend. It gave me a lot of insight just on the history of Cambodia and kind of how they've gotten to where they are, because it is a very impoverished country and it wasn't always this way. The floating villages are super interesting. They run along either side of the Tonle Sap. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing things wrong. And you can see the houses on stilts and then quote unquote houses on these boats, aka like they're not like a houseboat like we would know in America. It's like canoes basically with like a rug as a roof. It was super shocking and beautiful at the same time, just seeing how other people live and the poverty there, because people literally go out on the Tonle Sap every single day, try to catch fish, and then come back home. And no one really has much. The houses on stilts are up that high because the water levels get so high, and those are seen as like, it was super interesting, super beautiful, and I'm really glad that I got that experience. And then I headed into Siem Reap. Y'all, I found meat and cheese. This is what I have been craving more than anything. I was so over street food at this point. I literally sat down with grapes, meat, and cheese in the grocery store and just ate in there and had myself a little picnic and got so many weird stares. But I got to see Pub Street. I got to see the night market, which is like the Cambodia homemade market or something, or the made in Cambodia market. And literally just walked around for hours, maybe like 2 or 3 hours. And it was so cool to see the town alive at night. I don't know if Siem Reap is necessarily for me. It's more of like a city vibe, which isn't something I'm totally interested in, but also I was here for such a short time that like maybe I didn't get the best impression. And regardless, I felt like I saw all that I needed to see. Okay, then made it to Angkor Wat. Yeah, it felt horrible that my driver was waiting for me, but it is what it is. I had to wear a t-shirt all day and it was literally hot as fuck. I cannot even describe to you how hot and humid it was. But just to be respectful in the temples, you have to keep your shoulders and your legs covered. So I wore a very stylish maxi skirt with an oversized t-shirt because I just didn't have anything cuter to wear, and just explored ruins all day. Our guide took me to 4 or 5 different ruins and temples, and these are all on the same property. And this was like kind of what I wanted to see. It's like Angkor Wat is one of the 7 wonders of the world. It's the largest ruin ever. I did a ton of research on it the day before while I was walking around. ChatGPT has become like my best friend traveling because I can just look up all the questions that I have on everything. But it was really cool. The restoration process is super intriguing to me. All the history there is super intriguing to me. It's interesting to learn how, these ancient rulers wanted to leave their mark, and the religious, sorry, I'll say that again. But it's super interesting to me how these major rulers wanted to leave their mark on society, and what was important at those times, the different religions that played into making these temples, and all these were actual ruins. I feel like at the beginning when I was in Malaysia, everything was just like a reenactment, and I was like, this is kind of stupid. So it's cool seeing like really, really old places and really, really old ruins and like touching the stone and seeing the inscriptions that are still there and seeing the overgrown trees have grown through them. Like, it makes me feel like I'm really in a part of history, which I really appreciate. So I did that all day, and I'm so thankful for my tour guide, and he showed me all the spots, and it was just a really cool experience, and I got to just learn as I went instead of like doing like a tour guide situation, which I feel like I would have hated. Like, I like just going at my own pace. And then my brother, who had traveled for like a year and a half, he's so well traveled, had come to Cambodia a couple years ago and told me about these other ruins that are more off the beaten path, kind of closer to the airport. And so I had my driver take me there on the way to the airport, and that was probably my favorite one. They hadn't done any restoration at all, and there were trees everywhere, so it was so cool seeing how the ruins had like moved with the trees. And yeah, that was probably my favorite one. Really doing me absolutely no favors. But I'm back at the airport. I've actually been here for like 5 hours at a coffee shop, and now my 24 hours in Cambodia is about to come to an end. I'm boarding my flight here in a couple hours, finally, but it just made more sense for me to come straight to the airport instead of go back downtown Siem Reap, because I've already seen everything that I want to see, and needed desperately to catch up on some work. Things are very much catching up to me, and I don't want my return back to the States to be too scary. Plus, I have a ton of logistical stuff that I need to figure out with the rest of my travels. But that's the end of the vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed a taste of what it's like in Cambodia. It goes in the floating village, Kampong Kliong. I think I'm very much butchering that, and siem meat, as well as all the surrounding ruins and temples. It's been super interesting, and I'm really happy with my decision to just stay here for 24 hours. I feel like I'm good. If I had more time in Cambodia, I would definitely go to Phnom Penh, which is where a lot of the history is as far as the genocide and the killing fields and monuments and stuff centered around that part of their history, which after reading the book was super interesting to me, and obviously just devastating and so sad. But it's a short little vlog, so heading to Vietnam and get my travel shit together. I've like totally moved in at this cafe. But thank you guys so much for watching, and next stop, Vietnam.